President Trump denies fake news report on changes to economic plans. This came from the Washington Post, had posted an article on Monday saying that, according to three anonymous sources, that the Trump transition team and the incoming administration was in the process of reconsidering, paring down their plans as they pertain to tariffs. Now, President Trump throughout the campaign, especially in the last 2 or 3 months, I mean, he was declaring that the greatest word ever spoken was tariffs. I mean, he really leaned in on the tariffs, even as other people were kind of like, I don't know if that's going to work. Of course, it worked fine. And yeah, but now they say, they being the Washington Post, legacy media, is saying that he's trying to tone it down a bit, pare it back. We'll see. According to the article we have posted over at economiccollapse.report, President-elect Donald Trump has refuted a Washington Post report suggesting his aides were considering a more restrained tariff policy. The report claimed that Trump's transition team was contemplating a tariff plan that would be less extensive than his campaign promises, targeting only imports deemed critical to national or economic security. Trump took to his Truth Social platform to dismiss these claims as fake news. He stated, "The story in the Washington Post, quoting so-called anonymous sources which don't exist, incorrectly states that my tariff policy will be pared back. That is wrong. The Washington Post knows it's wrong. It's just another example of fake news." So what's going on here? What are the possibilities? Well, it is possible that President Trump is fibbing about this. Maybe they are contemplating it, and maybe he's just saying, but let's just dismiss that one because that's just almost certainly not true. Option number two is that quietly, maybe some of his aides, some of the people in his transition team, and maybe even in his upcoming administration, are trying to get the word out and trying to maybe test the waters to see if they can talk to Trump. I think this is definitely possible. And this is a tactic that's used quite often in Washington, D.C. You use a media leak to try to get the story going, and then you look at the responses and you say, hey, based on that article, we got, Mr. President, we got word back from Sean Hannity that he's like, well, it wouldn't be a bad idea to pare it back. Just test balloons, so to speak, which, again, I think is very unlikely, but we're looking at the possibilities here. The most likely scenario, let's go with one more unlikely scenario. There is the possibility that it was a fake news leak. In other words, I would imagine, and I've heard rumors, unconfirmed rumors, but heard rumors that the incoming Trump administration is going to take advantage of the fact that legacy media loves to use anonymous sources, so they're going to give them anonymous sources and feed them incorrect information. Again, unlikely, but possible. The most likely scenario is that Washington Post is doing what legacy media has been known to do for years, at least years, probably decades. They were probably doing it way back when, and that is to promote a narrative, promote an agenda that they want, claim that there's anonymous sources out there, and then use that to basically push a political agenda or a cultural agenda. We've seen this, for example, with climate change. The whole idea, the concept that 97% of climate scientists agree that the world is going to end in like 10 years. That has never been true. It was never true. This was completely manufactured. But they wanted to tell the big lie to push the agenda, and then that lie became quote-unquote fact, even though it's not a fact. Could this be an example of that? I think that there is a very distinct possibility that the Washington Post or the reporter or both or somebody else, they're just trying to cut Trump off and make it to where he's less likely to enact his tariff plan. According to President Trump, though, he's moving forward with it. Fake news is lying, and China and the rest of the world better watch out because tariffs are on their way. Let's spread the truth together. You can connect with me on X at JD Rucker, or you could subscribe to my Rumble channel, jdrucker.com/rumble, jdrucker.com/rumble.